Hey, all right, let's try and find a torque that'll take these out. I might have one sitting here. Definitely not going to be that one. This one. I think that's too big for it. Too big. Okay, guys, got the right one now. It's the T8. So you need T8 torque to undo all the screws. Make sure you keep them all in one spot. Unless you've got a bunch of them like I do to replace them. Now you'll notice in the background I've got a screen off a computer. I'll just strip those down for spare parts. I seem to be getting a lot of spare parts lately. Now you might end up with a bit of dirt in them, so you might have to give it another blowout and try and get it going. But other than that, it should work. Now I got a smaller torque and cleaned out the holes. So this is just going to come off there. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to pop all these here. Quite long. So I will take this up to the house now and I will wash all these out. So wash this, and I'll wash the other cover, which I cannot remember where I put it. I might have put it up the other end, put it on the floor or something. I'll find it. Always do that. So the screws are there. So that'll all sort out. I might put it through the blower first before I wash it, just to see if I can get a little bit more. If you really want to, there are more screws in there that could probably take this bit off here to clean it right out. But in my case, I'm not going to do that. There's your contacts in here if you're looking for contacts to contact to. Okay guys, I've just gone a bit further. I've pulled the battery. You'll notice that these are the older model of the battery, which don't have two sensors in them. But it's got a little button there to check. It goes into there like that. There's a screw that holds it up here, and one screw at the front, which will take it out. That's out. I've stripped it down. I've taken four of the T8 screws out of the front. Now the two at the back, they were Phillips head, or star if you want to call it star. So a small star screwdriver. They're fine. I've taken this apart to that point there. I haven't got this apart yet. I got a feeling I can pull it apart, but I don't want to go any further with it unless I stuff it. I'd say that there'd be a couple of screws sitting in behind here, and I'm just thinking that it would be, but not sure. I've gotten to as far as I think that I could go with it at this point, which I need to. So I've cleaned it all up in there. I've used a blower to clean that area out. I'll finish this off with a light brush and a clean, and maybe even a bit of soapy suds, but I don't want to get anything in the motor because the motors are worth about, I think they're worth about $300 here in Australia from Dyson. There might be something under this sticker, but I don't think so. No, nothing under that sticker. So, but this bit here came out. This just pops back in the middle there. That'll get a good wash. It's really dirty. Other than that, I think I've pretty much stripped it down. I'd like to know how to get this last bit off, but I'm a bit worried about this switching system because it might come apart and I will not be able to get that back in. I very much doubt that I'll get that back in. It will take me the whole day to do that. I'm not prepared to do that. I'll see if there's anything in behind here. Now, trying to feel. I've got a funny feeling there's something down the bottom here. Just down there somewhere. So, if I can without hurting it. These are Australian. Probably every country's got one. I just do not want to wreck it. Because my wife will shoot me. Nope, nothing underneath there. Nothing underneath the back bit. There must be a trick, but I just don't know what the trick is. I'm wondering if these two here just hold it in. But that would... I'm going to have a quick look without wrecking it. They're kind of holding that in. Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. So you've got these two little pins here. You push them in on each side and the whole filtering system will come out after you've taken the 4 screws out of here. And if I'm very lucky, yep, there you go. That's the whole thing. There's a motor. There's a cleaning system. It's got 2 screws left over at the end. Do not try and pull this apart. It will break. So you need to stop, look, listen, and remove. Remove these 2 screws. They're a T8. We'll pop the whole thing back together again, and it'll be like a brand new item. So now I can take that apart and clean that and the filtering system, replace all the rubbers, soapy sud the rubbers. Don't put anything on the rubbers because you're going to get dirt on them. Just leave them clean. And yeah, Bob's your uncle, but in my case he was my father. So everything else is ready to go. So what do you reckon, guys? You going to like and subscribe this one? Because I've pulled the whole thing, just stripped it to bits. Anything. Continuing on, I cleaned up the other bits using some detergents, and I'm going to let it dry over a 24-hour period. This thing here, I looked at it and I realised how disgustingly dirty it was. Look at this. Still got food sitting in it. God, whoever fucking looks after this should be shot. No, I would die if I had something like this. I would say this is clipped in some way, but I don't want to break it. So there is another thing too here. I was going to unscrew all this, but I've just noticed at the end. See, I've never played with one of these before. I'm just playing with it now. You can turn it. Now, what that does is it lets the end off. So yeah, not bad for someone that hasn't played with them before. So I'm going to leave it up to that stage at the moment. I don't know whether I want to take all that off. I might put the screws back into there. I do think it does need a good clean. I'm going to have to get it and blow it out. So what I'll do is I'll put the screws back in. I'm going to blow it out because you've got shit like that just coming out of the end of it. Make sure you're wearing a mask if you can. So I'm just going to use I didn't have a pair of scissors. I wanted a pair of scissors to cut all the hair off this. A fair bit of it. But as long as you're keeping the rails, brush is okay. So someone had a lot of bloody hair. Yeah. And it's gotten around here. It's bloody everywhere. So I was just cutting it off. Matter of cutting it all off, getting it off there. I wouldn't have got the scissors in there anyway. What do we got? Might put this through the blower and I'll go take this up and wash it. By tomorrow, I'll have a good vacuum cleaner. So this one was only a, I think it was a Dyson DC6. It's an older model, but the DC8, I could not imagine that it would be much different to the DC6. May have a couple of different things, but it'd be, why would you reinvent the wheel, I say. Anyway, I will get the rest of it off, and I'll see you in the next episode.